Hi, friend. It's the holiday season, so Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. I hope that this season brings so much joy and rest and happiness to you and your family. And I want to add to that joy and that excitement this season by doing a giveaway. Yes, I am giving away 2 cash prizes to my followers and listeners for being so amazing and sticking with me this year. It's been a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful that you're along with me on this podcast and journey. So this is how you enter the giveaway. Listen to any episode of the podcast and leave a very specific review. Give me feedback on what you thought about that episode. That's it. Just listen to an episode that really resonates with you. I know that you cannot listen to all the episodes, I get it. But pick one that really resonates with you. Listen to it and give me specific feedback. So all you have to do is go to your podcast app, scroll down and click write a review. You leave a rating and then you write a review. And I will be so grateful to hear from you. All right, I know that this is going to be easily done if you're using the Apple Podcast app. But if you don't have the Apple Podcast app, guess what? You can now actually download it even if you have an Android phone. Yes. Now, there are very specific instructions on how to do this. The Apple Podcast app is not available in the Google Play Store. Go figure. So I'm going to leave a link in the show notes to tell you how to install the app on your Android phone. Very simple instructions. So you can install Apple Podcasts on your Android phone, and then you can leave a review. So I'm giving away 2 separate $50 prizes, right? So 2 people have a chance to win $50 each for the holiday season to spend however you want. But you have to be in the US. I'm sorry to all my listeners around the world. I really, really appreciate you. And I guess we have to figure something out there, but reviews are location specific, and I'm not able to see all reviews that are not from the US right now. Okay, so this is how you enter the giveaway. Download the Apple Podcast. If you don't have it, again, I'll leave a link in the show notes for you to do that, even if you have an Android phone. Then go to the podcast, go to the Driven Introvert podcast, scroll down to where it says write a review. Type in your review, and before you click send, take a screenshot of your review and email it to me at thedrivenintrovert@shepacked.com. I'll leave a link in the show notes. And you will be entered to win one of 2 $50 cash prizes for the holiday season. Thank you so much for following and listening to the show. I really, really appreciate it. Now let's get to the episode. So friend, it just might be time for you to stop considering everything that could go wrong and just do that thing you've been dreaming about. In this episode, I just want to give you a little bit of a pep talk because I want you to step into 2025 in a different way. I want you to dream big, dream wide, and I want you to know that so much is possible for you if you just become a trier. Let's get into it. You're listening to the Driven Introvert podcast, the place to be for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to birth the dreams, callings, and ideas the Lord has placed in their hearts. Do you sense that God is calling you to step out and do something new, but you're held back by fear and uncertainty? Do you struggle with believing that you can do great things because of your quiet, reserved, and introverted nature? Welcome here. I'm Remy Roy, your host and founder of shepacked.com. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, a creative, and a committed trier. I'm here to help you get unstuck and make progress on your God idea. Let's go. So, in the reflection episode, I asked a question, and the question was, what is the most impactful thing you did this year? For me, as I said in that episode, mine was this podcast, right? In 2024, it's this podcast. 2023, last year, it was Shepacked. It's funny when I think about everything that sort of was happening in my life around the time when I started Shepacked. I was a new mom, first-time mom. I was also, at the time, helping my mom to publish her book. It's her first book. She was writing her story, and I was so happy and excited for her and so happy to help her work on that project. But it was a lot of work. It took a lot from me. It was such a difficult season for me as a new mom, working on a book project and then starting Shepacked. But I knew that I had to do it. It's one of those things where you've been thinking about something for so long. You've been dreaming about it. You've been thinking about it. You've been contemplating, researching, trying to figure out. But it hits you at some point and you realize that if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. I will always keep pushing it out, always waiting for the perfect time, always waiting for the time when life will be easy and everything will be even keel and I'll be able to like step into this new season. But it hardly works that way. If something is going to work, you're going to have to make it work. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to add so much to your plate all the time, but I knew in this season that even though I was so busy and so tired and exhausted, I had to do this. That's how I felt. I had to dig deep to connect with my passion. And I'm a very driven person, which is not news to you. The title of my podcast is The Driven Introvert. I'm driven. I'm ambitious. I want to do things, right? I want to step out even when I feel like I'm afraid, I don't have what it takes. I want to figure out a way to do the things that I want to do. But obviously there's a downside to being very driven. It's very easy to overstretch yourself, to experience that diminishing returns because you're just adding more and more and more to your plate. And this year, I've been figuring out how do I manage all of this? How do I manage my schedule in a way that works for me? But it is important, even when you feel overwhelmed, to figure out where is my passion most served? What is the thing? What is that one thing that I can do to move my life forward in a very intentional and positive way? Y'all, we all know this. The world is in a difficult place. I mean, you just have to listen to the news, or be on social media for like 5 minutes. Economic issues, there's wars around the world. So many crazy things happening. And there's a general feeling of just hopelessness. But this is not God's best for us. And I know that for God to work in this world, He's going to use you. He's going to use me. He's going to use the people who are intentional about doing something positive and impactful with their lives, in their communities, in their sphere of influence. And I want to be that person. Don't you want to be that person? Now, it's very easy to feel like the thing you're passionate about or the thing you have to be passionate about has to be this big thing that is so public and so huge and so out there, but that's not true. All I want you to do is to dig deep and find your next. Find that thing that you know that if you did this, if you paid attention to this, your life will move forward in a very impactful way. Not just for you, but for the world around you, even if that world is your immediate family. Even if it's just the people around you, the people in your school, the people in your community, at your church. What is that thing that you can do to move the needle forward for your life? I understand that sometimes we're overwhelmed when we think about this, right? And I know that there are some people who do not want to be stretched in this way. Like, we're comfortable. I have my job. I go to my job. I come back home. I watch Netflix. I'm good. Like, please stop stressing me. And I get it. If that's where you are, that's where you are. If that makes you feel centered and connected, then that makes you feel centered and connected. That's you. Do you? But if you go to bed at night, you wake up in the morning, and there is a nagging thought, feeling at the back of your mind that there's got to be more. Isn't there something else to this life? What is the meaning of this life? Like those existential questions, I tell you, it means your heart is calling to more. And it's not just more because, more you want to get something, No, it's more there is more impact that you can make with your life. And one question that I ask myself, and I think you should too, that will kind of help you piece out maybe what you should be focused on is, what area of your life makes you feel the most defeated? That makes you feel out of control, makes you feel like, oh gosh, I'm not getting this right. We all have that one area of your life. It's just like when you're walking and there's a pebble in your shoe. That pebble in your shoe is your most immediate thing that you want to deal with. You want to get it out of your shoe because you need to walk comfortably. That's it. You're not trying to do something else at that time. You want to get that pebble out of your shoe right there and then before you do anything else. So my question to you is there an area of your life that makes you feel the most defeated? That area of your life when you think about the thing and you're like, gosh, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what step to take next. I don't even know what I should be doing, how to handle this. maybe that's an indication that that is one area of your life you need to focus on right now and take very intentional steps to fix. What is that thing? Start there. And it'll be different for all of us. For me, there are actually a couple of things, and I tried to figure out, okay, what is the one that I need to tackle the most right now? One thing that I know that going into the new year, I need to tackle, and it's going to sound funny because how is this like an impactful thing, or how is this like something that's connected to your passion? It's my parenting. It's concerning my son, right? Because when I became a parent, even long before I became a parent, I was very intentional about asking the Lord, please help me with this. I want to do justice to this responsibility that you have given me. I want to be an intentional parent. I don't want to take this for granted. I want to be an involved parent. I know it's going to take a lot of energy from me. It's going to take a lot of time. The things that I could just outsource so that I could be done with it, or I don't have to pay attention to 100%. I don't want to do that. I want to pay attention. I want to be there for my children. And right now, my son is at that stage where he needs to be potty trained. And I cannot explain to you, for some reason, the thought of doing this overwhelms me. It makes me feel defeated. Every time I think about it, I'm like, I cannot handle this. Like, I already feel like I'm failing at this. And it's such a curious feeling because why am I overwhelmed about this? This is connected to my passion. I am passionate about creating a healthy environment for my son. I'm passionate about helping him grow, and thrive in every way, in every way possible. Why do I feel overwhelmed about this? So I already know that right now, this is one area that I need to focus on. This is one area that in the next days and weeks, I need to drill down and start there and decide what is one thing that can help me move forward in this particular area. And I'm going to try something. Parenting doesn't come with a playbook. It doesn't. The closest thing we have is the Bible. And we go to that to give us wisdom and inspiration and guidance on how to do it. But we have to keep trying things. We have to keep trying things. And I want to do that. I don't want to watch life from the sidelines and wait for the last minute. Maybe when he's, 4 or 5 to potty train him, because I'm overwhelmed all this time. This may seem like an out of the left field example, but think about it. It's important to me. This is my son, my flesh, my blood. I love him. Now, there are other areas of my life that I'm also thinking about that's making me feel kind of defeated, right? I think about my business. There are areas of my business when I'm thinking, I need to figure this out. I need to figure this out. Like, what do I need to do? How do I move forward? Before I sat down to record this episode, I attended a 3-hour workshop, a business workshop, because I need to figure this out. I need to know, what do I try next? What do I do next? What do I implement? This is the only way to move your life forward. A lot of the times we talk about the things we want to do. We think about it. We obsess over our issues. We talk about our problems. We talk about it to this person and that person. We complain. We do all that. But that doesn't help you. That doesn't move your life forward. We're going into a brand new year. Don't step into it the same way. Resolve to be a trier. What does it mean to be a trier? I love that word. I call myself a trier because I will take a shot. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be just laid back and what will be, will be. No. What will be because you take action. What will be because you try to figure things out, because you put effort into it. So I'm asking you, what do you need to put effort into today? Is it your career? Is it that nagging feeling that maybe it's time to pivot? Maybe it's time to do something else. Maybe you're looking at the future of your industry and gosh, where do I go from here? I've hit the ceiling. I don't know what else to do. Maybe your skills are not what's needed anymore at your job. And you're seeing the warning signs. Younger people are coming with, better skills and more insight. more tools, the newer tools, the shiny objects that people are using these days, and you haven't figured out how to compete. And you feel that nagging thought at the back of your mind, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to do what will be will be? No. What are you going to do about the next steps you need to take? It's a brand new year. It's time to step forward. It's time to stop watching life from the sidelines. Maybe you're thinking about that particular child and you know that maybe he's falling behind in school or she's falling behind in school, and you know that it's going to take all your energy to spend time with them after school, to look at their homework, to pay attention, to follow up with them, to talk to their teachers, to be involved. But you're like, I'm busy, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the brain space. But you are passionate about seeing your child thrive. What are you going to do about it? Or maybe it's your health. You see the warning signs. You're not feeling too good. You're not feeling too... I'm actually talking to myself here because this holiday season, my gosh, I have just been indulging in things I should not. And I know I need to pay attention to my health, my fitness. Maybe that's it for you. Whatever it is, do not step into 2025 without assessing what you need to do differently. My friend, don't watch life from the sidelines. Be an active player. Where do you need to start? What steps do you need to take so that your life is exactly where you want it to be? It does not happen by accident. A good life, a life where you thrive, where you're happy, where you're blessed, where you're healthy, where your children are just thriving and flourishing, it doesn't happen by accident. If it does, everyone will be thriving. If it does, every family will be in a great and amazing place. It takes effort and time and commitment and energy, and you have to be ready to give it what it takes. What are you going to do differently in 2025? Take time to reflect. Don't let the year just pass by. Do all the enjoyment, eat all the food, go to all the office parties and community parties and block parties and potlucks and all of that. Do all of that. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Be excited around your family and your friends, but take time out to reflect on what this past year has been and what the new year can be for you. So, this is what I want you to do. 2 things. Number 1, find time in a quiet place to sit down, get your journal, and answer this question. What area of your life makes you feel defeated? Why do you feel defeated? What can you change? And number 2, start there. Make a list of the things you can begin to do differently. Starting now, before the year rolls, and starting now, what can you begin to do differently? Make a list of those things. Start to tackle them one after the other. If you have to set time aside to talk to your spouse about the situation at home, about your kids, how to move forward. If you have to strategize, for your career, how to move forward in your industry. If you have to think about your business, where is it going this year? How can you get more clients? How can you be more present? If you have to think about your health, whatever it is, write it down. And ask God to help you. Ask Him to help you take the steps you need to take. Don't do same old, same old. It's time to go for something different. It's time for more. It's time for greater. And you have what it takes. Don't let the enemy lie to you that you're overwhelmed and you're stuck and you don't know what to do. And it's been years since you worked, so you don't know where to start. Maybe you've been home with the kids. You're like, now I want to step back into the job market and I am overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I don't know if anyone will hire me. Don't give in to those feelings of overwhelm. Whatever step you need to take, you can take that step. So I just wanted to encourage you in this episode as we go into the new year. I am rooting for you. I know that there is so much more ahead of you than there is behind you, but you have to reach for it. All right. I hope that encourages you. I'm happy for you. I say I'm happy for you because there's so much possibility ahead of you and you have what it takes to reach for it. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm so excited when I get to just talk to you and inspire you to take action because it fuels me. It makes me happy to also go on my own journey and keep doing the things that I know God has called me to do. All right. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. I'm giving away 2 cash prizes of $50 each. All you have to do is leave a review. There'll be all the details in the show notes, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this conversation, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. I'd also love your feedback on this episode. You can scroll down on your app and click Write a Review. I'd love to read your takeaways from this conversation. As always, don't forget to take courage, trust God, and go pursue your big ideas. See you next time. The Driven Introvert is produced by shepack.com and Remy Roy. Want to ask a question or share a comment on a future episode? Click on the link in the show notes to record your question in a voicemail.